Hey folks, this is Riker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. This week's topics include former Diablo devs making a new aRPG, last Epoch's massive multiplayer launch, a Diablo 4 mural in a French cathedral that you can get your face on, and more. As always, discussion timestamps can be found in the description below. But right before you skip ahead, just a quick reminder to ring that sub notification bell to be alerted to new Saturday episodes and stay up to date with gaming news highlights. Now before I move on, just a quick word from this video's sponsor, NordVPN. A VPN is an important tool for keeping your data secure and encrypted on the internet, and I don't dare connect to public Wi-Fi without first enabling my VPN. Be it on a phone or a laptop, in an airport or a cafe, I turn on my protection before connecting to that public Wi-Fi, because you never know who may be snooping around trying to steal your personal data, because that Wi-Fi network named Cafe Free Wi-Fi can actually be anyone using their phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot to trick you into connecting to them. Turn on your VPN, and now your data is getting encrypted before going out. You can also use a VPN to get around region-blocked content by picking a server in a different country, and NordVPN has over 5,400 servers in 59 different countries. And it's so user-friendly that you're basically one click away from hiding your IP or browsing the web from a different country. And one account lets you connect up to 6 devices, be they computers, phones, tablets, you name it. So, take control of your internet experience today with NordVPN. For a limited time, in celebration of Nord's birthday, you can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount, plus an additional gift. If you sign up today, you'll get at least 4 additional months for free, with a chance of winning up to 1 additional year for free. Just go to nordvpn.com/Riker. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/RHYKKER, or click the link in the description below. In our first story, we got an announcement trailer for Cities Skylines 2. It'll release on PS5, Steam, Xbox, and Game Pass this year. We don't have a lot of details on what changes are introduced in the sequel, but thanks to PC Gamer, we know there will be seasons in the game. Not Diablo seasons, actual seasons, summer, winter, fall. We know you can assign services like garbage pickup to only operate in specific districts. In other words, you can set that one garbage station to only operate in the zone near it and not send a truck all the way to the other side of the city when there's another garbage truck on the other side that's perfectly capable of handling that. There will be hailstorms and presumably other weather effects. There will be rat infestations, and we'll be able to expand the city to 150 tiles, a huge upgrade over the 9 tiles from the first game, and even the 81 tiles that a mod allowed you to expand to. I really enjoyed the first City Skylines. It became the new SimCity after SimCity dropped the ball. Heck, I even have this super old video of myself playing the game. Lay down some more water pipes, because people complain if we don't lay down the water pipes. They can't live without water, God forbid, for a few days. You can survive 7 days, or 3 days without water. There's some they can go to the store and buy water, okay? But it seems developer Paradox Interactive isn't satisfied with having dethroned SimCity as the king of its genre. Now it's gunning for The Sims as well. This week the devs revealed Life by You, which will get a full announcement event on March 20th, and seems to be their take on The Sims. And they also announced the Lamplighters League, a strategic turn-based combat game set to release this year that seems like a competitor to XCOM. Big week for Paradox, lots of promise across these 3 titles. In other news, upcoming Bethesda sci-fi RPG Starfield has a release date, September 6th. We'll learn more about the game during a live stream on June 11th. Now, this is technically a delay since we were expecting the first half of 2023, but if it means a bit more time for polish, hey, they should take all the time they need. In another story, a new DLC has been announced and released for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. The Last Sarkorians introduces the new Shifter class, a shapeshifter that can grow wings and claws and turn into animals or mythical creatures. This is the biggest DLC for the game yet, and the devs suggest starting a new game to experience it fully. In a quick update on the war on loot boxes, a court in Austria has ruled that loot boxes in FIFA violate the country's gambling laws, specifically because players can sell cards on a secondary market, which gives these randomized items a real-world monetary value. This would be the 3rd European country to declare loot boxes as illegal gambling, with Belgium and the Netherlands being the first 2. though it should be specified that this was just the determination of one court in one case in Austria, but it is a first step towards establishing the precedent across the whole country. In other news, Counterstrike 2 is real and coming soon. This, according to Richard Lewis, a respected esports journalist who is well connected with the Counterstrike franchise. According to his sources, a new version of Counterstrike Global Offensive may see a beta release this month, or as late as April 1st. The game will be on the Source 2 engine. There will be improved matchmaking, servers will be 128 tick, an improvement over the 64 tick servers of CSGO. This is going to bring the franchise in line with its major competitor, Valorant. Now, given all the money involved in CSGO's player economy, I imagine the sequel will be similar to Overwatch 2 in the sense that it'll be an upgrade and replacement of the first game that carries over all your cosmetics, else there may be some growing pains in getting some of the player base to make the switch. Just my guess, though. In an update on the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, as we said last week, it's expected that European regulators will approve the acquisition, according to Reuters sources. And to help move things along, Microsoft has told the European regulators that they will not increase the price of Xbox Game Pass after the merger, and they will license Call of Duty to Sony for 10 years. In other words, Microsoft can't make Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive for at least a decade. However, Sony continues to be belligerent. The company is saying that even if Call of Duty remains on PlayStation, Microsoft may do something to make the Call of Duty experience worse on PlayStation, like include bugs, errors, unoptimizations. This way, if at game launch, critics are saying that the Xbox version is the better version of this Call of Duty game, then people are more likely to buy the Xbox version rather than the PlayStation version. I mean, sure, that's true, but meanwhile, this is hurting Activision's reputation more than what it's doing to Sony or PlayStation. It seems more self-sabotaging than it's worth. I just feel like Sony's grasping at straws at this point. Microsoft has also started posting full-page ads in UK newspapers talking about, or trying to convince people that this is good for the industry as a whole. Their angle is that they plan to bring Call of Duty to 150 million more players by expanding the number of platforms they'll release the game on, not shrink that number. Then in some aRPG news, Moonbeast Productions has announced that Eric Schaefer has joined their team as Chief Creative Officer. Moonbeast was formed about a year ago by Phil Shank and Peter Hu, two instrumental members of the Diablo 2 team. Phil Shank, as in Shank the Overseer, was the art lead for characters, monsters, and items in D2, and he did most of the story and world design as well. He built the Diablo World Bible that would serve as the lore foundation for all future Diablo games. Peter Hu was a senior programmer and lead designer on D2, and his last major accomplishment before leaving Blizzard North was being the main force behind patch 1.10, which brought in skill synergies, the Uber bosses, over 100 new elite unique items, and 20 new rune words, including Breath of the Dying, Call to Arms, Chains of Honor, Enigma, Heart of the Oak, Infinity, Insight, and Spirit. As for Eric Schaefer, well, he's one of the 3 co-founders of Blizzard North and co-creators of Diablo, along with his brother Max Schaefer and David Brevik. And Moonbeast, which has grown to include about a dozen employees now, has announced that the game that it has been working on is an aRPG. No surprise there, but a pleasant no surprise. Speaking with GameSpeed, Phil Shank said that they have ideas for changing the genre with a different approach to progression and trying to solve some of the problems that games like those in the Diablo franchise suffer from. Peter Hu said that they started Moonbeast in order to take a fresh look at aRPGs. They want to go back and reinvent the genre, which, let's face it, has followed a pretty standardized formula for decades now. Schaefer liked Hu's and Shank's ideas so much that he decided to come out of retirement to help out, since their ideas matched the ones that he had to improve the genre. The team will be attending GDC 2023 at the end of the month, where it'll have an early prototype to show to prospective partners. I'm looking forward to when they'll have something to show to the public. Innovating in this genre has been tough, so hearing about possible innovation is always exciting. And that leads us nicely into some last Epoch news. We got this week the release of patch 0.9, the Convergence update, aka the big multiplayer update. Multiplayer plays with up to 4 players per party. Loot drops are individual like in Diablo 3, so there's no fighting over loot. And you can gift items you find to people in your party. The trade system will be expanded in the future. We have a video discussing the details on the ingenious systems these folks have come up with. Again, full details here. Then in addition to multiplayer, this patch includes an overwhelming amount of visual updates, new enemies, new build-defining uniques, performance optimizations, and more. Prior to the patch release, the devs continued their week of pre-patch hype, posting a number of blog posts covering different aspects of the update. One discusses the performance and optimization they've done. I know some people who tried Last Epoch in the past suffered from some serious performance issues. I'd recommend trying the game again now, see if your performance is better. Another blog update showcased some of the skill updates. Another discussed the updates to enemies and armor. And man, things are looking great. Also, if you folks are looking for guides on Last Epoch, Max Roll launched its Last Epoch branch this week. Now, I've had a few hours with the Convergence update so far. My preliminary impressions are positive. I'm having fun, I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying the multiplayer. I know some people have had some bugs, some hiccups here and there, some server issues. I've had a pretty smooth experience, to be honest. But again, the game is still alpha. They're constantly working to improve things. They've been pulling all-nighters these days since the patch launched on Thursday to push out updates, push out fixes. But what about you folks? If you've played the latest update, what do you think of Last Epoch now? Sound off in the comments. And in Diablo 4 news, the leak we reported on last week turned out to be true. If you buy a Double Down via the KFC app or on KFC.com, you'll get into the early access beta weekend for Diablo 4, which is normally reserved for those who pre-purchased. I'll repeat, via the app and via the website. You can't walk into a KFC and demand a beta key. No one's gonna have any idea what you're talking about. Now, this is the beta that starts on March 17th. And the Double Down promotion runs until the 18th, and it is US only. Blizzard also released a live-action promotion for Diablo 4, showcasing a massive Baroque mural they painted on the ceiling of an old cathedral in France. And they got Charles Dance, yes, the amazing actor who played Tywin Lannister, to do the voiceover. Blizzard also released a behind-the-scenes video to give more insight into how they pulled this off, and proving that yes, they actually did paint 2,400 square feet worth of canvas and mounted it up on the ceiling of Chapelle de Jésuites in Cambrai, France. No, it was not just CGI. Diablo 4 art director John Mueller described the painting as depicting the hero's journey in their confrontation with Lilith. And Charles Dance's voiceover narrates that we must stand up to hatred, or she will destroy us all. Lilith is the daughter of Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, and she's also been known as the Daughter of Hatred. So for anyone who is clinging to some hope that we may team up with Lilith instead of fight her, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Oh, but guess what? You could actually get your face on that mural. Yes, that's right. Your face can be up on the ceiling of a church in France, presumably painted over one of the existing heroes' faces. Blizzard is holding a contest. If you opt into the contest and reach level 25 during the Diablo 4 open beta, you'll have a chance to win and be immortalized in the mural. If you're willing to put in the hours, getting to 25 is achievable. It'll be easier if you have both weekends available to you, but theoretically it is feasible in one weekend if you're a blaster. And that's gonna wrap up this week's video. But do be sure to have checked out last week's video in which we discussed how Diablo 4 ended up at Milan Fashion Week. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon, and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more gaming content.